I'm Aarushi, work at AutoGPT. It's like an open source autonomous agents. That's one of the things we do. We have a couple of other cool things coming out, so you're free to come join our Discord server or check out our GitHub. But basically, our goal is accessible AI, personal assistant for every single person, and that's what we're working on. And so for this demo, I wanted to take some time to show you some of the things that are possible with AutoGPT. So there's already a bunch of tutorials and blog posts of different things people have done with their own experiments with AutoGPT. So for some background, one of the things that I wanted to take the base autonomous agent and apply it to something that I'm quite passionate about is like AI and ethical consumerism. So for me personally, I spend a lot of time, if I have to buy anything at all, like a pair of pants, anything, spend an hour or two, like, is it vegan friendly, is it sweatshop free, etc. Right? So all of that can be automated away. But one of the things you'll probably notice, so with, you've seen what Google has done with their AI agent or whatever you want to call it, without any kind of control systems in place, kind of goes a little bit rogue. So that's one of the things that I think needs to be focused on with AI systems is like, how do you stop the hallucination? How do you put some kind of control in? Not suggesting that it needs to be completely controlled through, but a little bit of controlling is important. So I'll show you the demo, and then I'll talk you through what I've been doing. So for example, let's say I want to look up ethical jewelry brands, fair wages, that's what I care about. So this will be live eventually, but for now, for this demo, you'll just see it happen real time. So we'll just register for your monthly updates. And what's actually happening behind the scenes is that it's using AutoGPT under the hood as the researching, like browsing the web and everything. But on top of that, I've started using multiple agents to actually control what's going on. So for example, this research part of it is happening with AutoGPT, and then you'll see it moving a little bit further down as it goes. But basically, the concept is from the Plan and Solve paper. So everything's up until probably like last year or so has been really based on the React paper, meaning reasoning and then taking an action, which is very like almost single-minded thinking. So if you're planning something as a human being, it's rare that you were only ever going to be thinking about the very immediate step. You probably have a world around you that you understand. And so that's the concept of plan and execute, is make a plan. And then for the plan inside of it, you can change it for each step and then take actions as you come along. And then on top of that is the multi-agent system of, so if you're building a newsletter, for example, unlikely that it would ever just be AutoGPT, or in this case, AutoGPT being the content manager, writing a newsletter, right? It will be somebody who is reviewing it, somebody who is saying, yeah, this is on brand, or this is good tone of voice, or all of that. And so that's what this is doing. So you can start to see it's still going through a lot of the, yes, okay, so it's broken down everything into a couple of different steps. So it's broke down into what are the other kind of things that I would care about if you're looking for ethical jewelry brands. And so it's continuing to Google. I say Google, but I'm using DuckDuckGo, I think, underneath right now. But that's fine. And then it'll continue. This is just the drafts that it's coming up with right now. And then it will continue like this for a little while. OK, cool. So it's come up with some kind of an idea. Then we got an emailer who then formats the kind of chaotic concept that this has come up with and sends me the email. So let's see if that's showed up. OK, so this was I think this is an old one, but basically it's this kind of vibe of like getting to your tone of voice and your branding. Quite different from the other agents that exist at the moment, which are very like scientific. But let's see what the most recent one was. No? Here it is. Yeah. So similar concept and not as many emojis and all of that kind of thing, but that can be controlled a little bit further. Yeah, and so that's kind of where this is at the moment. And so what you can see is it's the concept of multi-agents applying more of like within a business or within your own business, the branding, tone of voice that you would want to do. One thing that's still missing, and I think is very key here as well, is putting in more of the concept of guardrails. So guardrails doesn't need to be just for like toxic kind of things, but also like right now, if I go in and I ask it for what is the capital of Greece, it'll go ahead and there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't really want it to be doing that, and it'll go off and like come up with like travel plans for me and all of that kind of stuff, which is fine, but it's not really what I care about. But yeah, so that's kind of the demo for now. With AutoGPT, well, there's a video online actually of them building an auto agent that does videos, which I think is very cool, right? If you can do videos and TikToks eventually, that would be awesome. But I think that's the coolest one. I would say if someone can come up with a concept of like doing AI avatars and stuff with AutoGPT, that would probably be the next coolest thing.
I guess follow-up to that is like, where are you seeing people use it in production, like rather than demos, but like actual production use?
I would say I'm not 100% certain where someone might be using this in production right now as it is. I think this AutoGPT as it is right now still needs a little bit of work on from an engineering point of view to go into production. So things like I mentioned about like guardrails and a bit more observability. But I'm not sure if anyone has actually put it in production.
I have a little question. Is that part of your job at AutoGPT?
Part of a lot of different jobs, but yes, we're trying to figure out how we build a little bit more controllability as well.